I was 43 slides into the most important presentation of my life when Madelyn Rowe stood up and destroyed me. Not with facts, not with data, with timing. I'd been talking for maybe 20 minutes, explaining the clean energy optimization algorithm I'd spent 18 years developing. 18 years. Every weekend, every vacation day I didn't take, every night after my kids went to bed. The investors were leaning forward, actually interested for once, and I was about to show them the simulation results when Madelyn's chair scraped backward so loudly it echoed. "I'm sorry," she said, not sounding sorry at all. "I need to stop you right there." The room went quiet. Victor Rowe, her father and my CEO, shifted in his seat. He didn't look at me. That should have been my first clue. Madelyn walked to the front of the room like she owned it, which technically she kind of did. Head of the next-gen vision lab, whatever the hell that meant. Mostly it meant she had an expensive title and an office with better lighting than mine. "Grant," she said, smiling at me the way you'd smile at a dog that just pissed on the carpet. "This is adorable, really. But we've already moved past this." I stood there holding the remote for the projector. My mouth was dry. Moved past what? This entire concept. She gestured at my slides like they were something she'd found stuck to her shoe. "Sierra pitched us a next-generation version of this 3 weeks ago. Cloud-integrated, AI-enhanced, actually scalable for modern infrastructure. What you're showing us is... well, it's boomer tech, Grant. No offense." The investors looked at each other. One of them actually nodded. My daughter's name coming out of Madelyn's mouth felt like a punch to the stomach. Sierra, my daughter, who worked at our biggest competitor, who I'd barely spoken to in 6 months because she was always too busy, always in some meeting, always about to get on a plane. "Sierra," I said slowly, "doesn't know the first thing about energy optimization. She knows enough to see where the industry's heading." Madelyn pulled out her phone, tapped something, and suddenly the screen behind me changed. My slides vanished. In their place, a sleek presentation with Sierra's name in the corner. "She's been consulting with us for the past quarter. Her approach is exactly what we need. Fresh perspective, modern thinking." I looked at Victor. He was studying his notepad. "Victor," I said, "you're really going to let her—" "Madelyn makes a good point," Victor said quietly. "We need to stay competitive." The investors were already standing up. One of them clapped Madelyn on the shoulder. Another was typing on his phone. They were done with me. Just like that. 18 years, and they were done. I closed my laptop very carefully. My hands weren't shaking. I wouldn't let them shake. "Well," I said, "enjoy the funding." I walked out. No one stopped me. In the hallway, I pulled out my phone. My hands still weren't shaking, but they wanted to. I opened Instagram. Sierra's story was already up, posted 6 minutes ago. A photo of her in some glass-walled office grinning at the camera. The caption, "Old ideas belong to old men. The future belongs to people brave enough to leave the past behind." I stared at it for a long time. Then I smiled. They had no idea what they'd just done. By the time I got home, my phone had 11 missed calls from the office. I ignored all of them. Lydia was in the kitchen, chopping vegetables with the kind of violent precision that meant she already knew something was wrong. "They fired you," she said. Not a question. "Not yet, but they're working on it." She stopped chopping and looked at me. Lydia had always been able to read me better than anyone. 49 years old, sharp as a knife, with exactly 0 patience for bullshit. It's why we'd lasted 26 years of marriage. That and the fact that she was smarter than me. "What happened?" I told her. All of it. Madelyn interrupting. Sierra's name. The investors walking out. The Instagram post. When I finished, Lydia put down the knife and wiped her hands on a towel. "Our daughter," she said slowly, "publicly mocked you after stealing your work." "Apparently." "And you just walked out." What was I supposed to do? Make a scene? Lydia laughed. It wasn't a happy sound. Grant, you spent 18 years on that algorithm. You used our retirement savings. You missed birthdays and anniversaries and every single one of Sierra's college graduations because you were in that lab. And she just took it? She didn't take it, I said. She doesn't understand it. She can't. She's a glorified PR person. Then what? Someone fed it to her. I sat down at the kitchen table. My legs felt weak. Someone gave her enough information to sound credible. Enough to fool Madelyn and Victor and a room full of investors who wouldn't know a real algorithm if it calculated their stock portfolios. Lydia sat down across from me. Her expression was changing. I knew that look. It was the same look she'd had when Sierra's high school boyfriend had cheated on her, and Lydia had quietly, methodically, destroyed his reputation across 3 school districts. Who? She asked. Only one person had access to my development files, I said. Callum. Callum Drex, my son-in-law, Sierra's husband, the operations manager who'd worked under me for 5 years, who I'd mentored, who I'd recommended for promotion twice, who'd married my daughter and apparently decided that wasn't enough. Lydia's jaw tightened. They really think they're going to get away with this, she said softly. They already have. No. She leaned forward. They think they have. There's a difference. My phone buzzed. I looked at it. An email from HR. Subject, meeting request, urgent. I showed it to Lydia. They're going to try to force you out quietly, she said. Offer you some severance package. Make you sign an NDA. Bury it. Probably. Are you going to let them? I looked at my wife, at the woman who'd stood by me through every failed prototype, every rejected grant proposal, every night I'd come home too tired to speak, who'd raised our kids mostly on her own because I'd been chasing a dream that had just been stolen by those same kids. No, I said. I'm not. She smiled. It was a terrible smile. Good, she said. Because I didn't spend half my life watching you build something just to watch them take it without bleeding for it. The email from HR came at 9 p.m. They wanted to see me first thing Monday morning. It was Friday night. They were giving me the weekend to panic, to second-guess myself, to come in desperate and willing to accept whatever they offered. I didn't sleep that night, neither did Lydia. We sat at the kitchen table with my laptop, going through every file I'd saved, every email I'd sent, every document I'd backed up over 18 years. Here, Lydia said around 3 a.m., pointing at the screen. February 15th. You sent Callum a request for the latest infrastructure specs. So he responded 6 hours later with a corrupted file, said it was a server error. You remember that? I did. Vaguely. It had seemed like nothing at the time. He corrupted it on purpose, Lydia said. Look at the file size. It's too large to be corrupt. He replaced it with something. She was right. The file was 43 megabytes. A truly corrupted file would have been fragments. This was whole. Just unreadable. He was testing, I said slowly. Testing if I'd notice. And you didn't. No. We kept digging. More files, more emails. A pattern emerged. Callum had been feeding me bad data for months. Nothing obvious enough to catch immediately, just enough to slow me down, to make my presentations less polished, to make me look like I was falling behind. He was sabotaging you, Lydia said, the whole time, while you were mentoring him. My hands were shaking now. I let them. He wanted my position, I said, and Sierra wanted my reputation. They wanted you gone. I looked at the laptop screen, at 18 years of work, at the evidence of a betrayal so calculated it made my chest hurt. They're going to get worse than gone, I said quietly. Lydia reached across the table and squeezed my hand. Tell me what you need, she said. Our Monday morning, I walked into the HR office at 8:15. Teresa Martinez was waiting with a folder. She looked uncomfortable. Good. Grant, she said. Thanks for coming in. Did I have a choice? Please sit down. I sat. Teresa opened the folder. Inside was a severance package. 6 months' salary, full benefits through the end of the year, an NDA highlighted in yellow. We think this is fair, she said. For what? Grant. I haven't been fired. I haven't been disciplined. I haven't violated any policies. So what exactly is this severance for? Teresa's mouth tightened. There have been concerns raised about your behavior, your ability to collaborate with newer team members, your resistance to innovative approaches. Whose concerns? She didn't answer. She didn't have to. Let me guess, I said. Madelyn, maybe Callum, maybe even my own daughter. Grant, I'm not signing this. Teresa blinked. I'm sorry? I'm not signing your NDA. I'm not taking your severance. I'm not going away quietly. Then you'll be terminated for cause. On what grounds? Failure to maintain collaborative workplace relationships, resistance to leadership directives, insubordination. I smiled at her. It felt like ice on my face. Try it, I said. Document all of that. Put it in writing. I'll see you in court. I stood up and walked out. Behind me, I heard Teresa scrambling for her phone. I made it halfway to the parking lot before Victor caught up with me. Grant, wait! I kept walking. Grant, God damn it, just... He grabbed my arm. I stopped, turned. He looked older than I remembered. Tired. What? Don't do this, he said. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Harder for who? For everyone. Look, I know Madelyn came on strong in that meeting. I know you're upset, but Sierra's approach really is innovative, and Callum's been doing good work. Maybe it's time to... To what? Step aside? Let the kids play? To retire with dignity, Victor said quietly. I looked at him, at the man who'd hired me 22 years ago, who'd promised me autonomy and resources and a chance to build something that mattered, who was now telling me to disappear. You knew, I said. You knew what they were planning. Victor's expression didn't change. That was answer enough. It's business, Grant. It's theft. It's evolution. You can't stop it. You can only decide how you're going to handle it. I pulled my arm free. You're right, I said. I can't stop evolution, but I can sure as hell make sure the wrong species goes extinct. I got in my car and drove away. In my rearview mirror, Victor was standing in the parking lot, phone already to his ear. That afternoon, I went back to the office. Not through the front entrance, through the parking garage. I still had my access badge. They hadn't deactivated it yet. Probably an oversight. Or maybe they assumed I'd given up. The building was quiet. Most people were in meetings or at lunch. I took the elevator to the 3rd floor. My old lab. The door was locked, but I had keys. They hadn't changed the locks either. Inside, everything looked different. Half my equipment was gone. My workstation had been cleaned out. The whiteboards I'd covered with calculations had been erased. In the corner, someone had stacked boxes with Madelyn's name on them. I stood there, breathing carefully, trying not to put my fist through a wall. Then I heard voices in the hallway. I recognized them immediately. Sierra and Callum. I moved to the door, opened it slightly. They were standing by the elevators, arguing in low voices. He's not going to just walk away, Sierra was saying. You said he would. He will, Callum said. Victor's handling it. He looked at me like, God, Callum, the way he looked at me in that meeting. Like what? Like you took what's his? You did. We did. And it was the right move. He spent 18 years. He spent 18 years building something obsolete. We modernized it. That's not theft. That's progress. Sierra was quiet for a moment. Then, he's going to hate me forever. So, you don't need his approval anymore. You have Madelyn's, you have Victor's, you have investors interested. Your career is about to explode. Why do you care if your dad throws a tantrum? Because he's my dad. He's a dinosaur, and dinosaurs don't get to decide who inherits the earth. They got in the elevator. The doors closed. I stood in the empty lab, shaking. Not from anger, from something colder. Callum was wrong about one thing. Dinosaurs went extinct because of a meteor they never saw coming. I was about to be that meteor. While you're here, hit the hype button, don't forget to subscribe and support this channel with a like, and tell us below. Have you ever faced something like this? I spent the next 3 days in the house planning. Lydia brought me coffee and food, and occasionally told me to shower. I barely noticed. My laptop screen was filled with documents, emails, file trees, access logs. 18 years of work. 18 years of evidence. The algorithm was mine. Every line of code, every formula, every optimization. I could prove it. Timestamps, development logs, commit histories. But proof wouldn't be enough. They'd already turned the narrative against me. Old man clinging to outdated ideas, resistant to change, difficult to work with. I needed more than proof. I needed them to destroy themselves publicly. "You look like hell," Lydia said, setting down a sandwich I wouldn't eat. "I'm fine." "You're plotting. There's a difference." I looked up at her. "They took everything." "Not everything. They took credit. They took your position. They took the company's faith in you. But they didn't take the work itself. They can't. They don't understand it." She was right. That was the key. Sierra had the concept. Callum had the corrupted files he'd fed Madelyn. But neither of them actually understood how the algorithm worked. They couldn't. It had taken me 18 years to build. You can't shortcut that kind of development. "What happens," I said slowly, "when they try to actually implement it?" Lydia smiled. "It fails. Publicly. Spectacularly." I leaned back in my chair. "How long until they try?" "Madelyn will want to move fast. Prove to Victor she made the right call. Prove to the investors that Sierra's version is better than yours. I'd guess 2 weeks, maybe 3. That's not enough time for me to..." "Enough time for what? You're not building anything. You're waiting for them to hang themselves." I stared at the screen, at the algorithm that had consumed my adult life, at the thing my daughter had stolen without understanding. "What if they figure it out?" I asked. "What if Sierra's smarter than we think?" Lydia laughed. It was sharp. "Grant, our daughter once tried to microwave a metal bowl because she thought the microwave would know not to spark. She's not smart. She's pretty and confident and well-connected. That's not the same thing." "Callum might..." "Callum is an operations manager. He manages. He doesn't create. He spent 5 years watching you work and he still doesn't understand what you do. That's why he had to sabotage you instead of replacing you." She was right. I knew she was right. But the fear was still there. The fear that somehow they'd pull it off. That somehow my life's work would succeed in their hands, and I'd be left with nothing but the truth that no one believed. "Trust me," Lydia said. "They're going to fail, and when they do, you're going to be standing right there, watching." On Thursday, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. "Grant Halden?" A woman's voice, young, nervous. "Who is this?" "My name is Emma Park. I'm an analyst in the Next Gen Vision Lab. I work under Madelyn Rowe." I sat up straight. "How did you get this number?" "From the company directory. Look, I don't have much time. They're tracking calls. But I needed to tell you something." "Tell me what?" "They're rushing your algorithm into production." Madelyn pushed up the timeline. "She wants to have a working prototype to show investors by next Friday. But it's not working. Nothing's working. Sierra can't explain half the variables. Callum keeps insisting it's a hardware issue. Madelyn's panicking." My heart was pounding. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because it's wrong. I've seen the development logs. I know you built this. I know what they did. And I'm not going to be part of it when the whole thing collapses. Emma, I'm sending you an email, right now. It has internal communications, meeting notes, everything. Use it however you want. Just don't tell anyone where you got it. Wait. 30 seconds later, my email dinged. The sender was a Proton Mail address I didn't recognize. The subject line, "You deserve to know." I opened it. Inside were screenshots, dozens of them, Slack conversations, email chains, meeting agendas. Lydia came into the room. "What's wrong? You look—" "Read this." I turned the laptop toward her. She leaned over my shoulder and started scrolling. I watched her face change. Her jaw tightened. Her eyes went cold. "She petitioned to have you blacklisted," Lydia said softly. "Sierra. She sent Victor a formal request to ensure you couldn't work in the industry anymore. She called you a liability." I couldn't breathe. "Callum co-signed it," Lydia continued, "and Madelyn approved it. They're not just pushing you out of the company. They're trying to end your entire career." I grabbed the laptop back, scrolled down. There it was, a PDF attached to an email thread. The header, "Recommendation for Industry-Wide Professional Review, Grant Halden." I opened it, read it. Every word was a knife. Subject displays pattern of resistance to collaborative innovation, repeated inability to adapt to modern methodologies, potential risk to team cohesion and project success, recommend formal review with Industry Standards Board to prevent future employment complications. It was dated 2 weeks before the presentation. 2 weeks. They'd planned this before I'd even walked into that conference room. "Grant," Lydia said. Her voice was shaking. "They're trying to destroy you." I closed the laptop very carefully. "No," I said. "They're trying. They haven't succeeded yet." Friday morning, I did something I hadn't done in weeks. I shaved, showered, put on a suit. Lydia watched me from the bedroom doorway. "Where are you going?" "To the office. They'll have security throw you out." "No, they won't. I'm going to collect my personal items. That's protected under the termination guidelines. They have to let me in." "Grant, I'm not doing anything stupid, I promise. I just need to see something." She didn't look convinced, but she didn't stop me either. The drive to the office felt longer than usual. I parked in the visitor lot. My access badge was definitely deactivated by now. I walked through the front entrance. The receptionist, Julie, looked up and froze. "Mr. Halden, I don't think you're supposed to—" "I'm here to collect my personal effects from my old workstation. That's within my rights. Check the employee handbook if you'd like." She picked up the phone, spoke quietly, hung up. "Security will escort you," she said. She wouldn't meet my eyes. 2 security guards appeared, younger guys. I didn't know them. They looked uncomfortable. "We need to accompany you," one of them said. "Fine." We took the elevator to the 3rd floor. The doors opened. My old lab was directly ahead. The door was propped open now. I could hear voices inside. Laughter. I walked down the hall. The security guards followed. I reached the doorway and looked in. Sierra was sitting at my old desk. My desk. She'd rearranged everything. The monitors were different. The chair was different. There were plants on the windowsill and a motivational poster on the wall that said, "Disrupt or be disrupted." Callum was standing behind her, leaning over to look at her screen. They were both smiling, relaxed, like they owned the place, because they did. Sierra looked up and saw me. Her smile vanished. "Dad." "Sierra." Callum straightened up. His expression went carefully neutral. "Grant. Didn't expect to see you here." "I'm collecting my things." "There's nothing left to collect," Sierra said. "HR cleared out your workstation last week." "I'd like to check for myself." She glanced at the security guards. "Is this necessary? It's making everyone uncomfortable." It'll be quick, I said. I walked past her to the corner where my old filing cabinet used to be. It was gone. In its place was a small table with someone else's coffee mug and laptop bag. I opened a few drawers in the remaining cabinets. Empty. They'd been thorough. Behind me, Sierra said, "I'm sorry it had to be like this." I turned around. "Are you?" "Yes, I didn't want to hurt you, but you weren't listening. You weren't willing to change." "Change into what?" "Into someone who could keep up." Callum put a hand on her shoulder. Protective. Possessive. "Grant, no one's saying you didn't do good work. But the industry moved on. Sierra's approach is what investors want now. What the market wants." "Sierra's approach," I said slowly, "is my approach with a fresh coat of paint and a younger face. That's not fair." "Fair," I laughed. It sounded wrong even to me. "You stole 18 years of my life. You turned my own daughter against me. You petitioned to have me blacklisted from the industry. And you're talking to me about fair?" The room went very quiet. Sierra's face went pale. "How did you—" "No. Someone told me. Someone with a conscience." Callum's expression hardened. "You're not allowed to be here. Security, please escort Mr. Halden out of the building." The guards moved closer. I didn't resist. I'd seen what I needed to see. Sierra was scared, Callum was angry, and both of them were sitting in a room full of equipment they didn't understand, trying to make work an algorithm they'd never be able to fix. As I walked toward the door, I stopped next to Sierra's chair. She looked up at me. For just a second, I saw the little girl who'd asked me to help with her math homework, who'd cried when her science project didn't work, who'd hugged me when I'd told her I was proud of her. Then it was gone. "Enjoy the office," I said quietly. "You earned it." I walked out. In the parking lot, my phone rang. "Victor," I answered. "What the hell were you doing in the building?" he demanded. "Collecting my things. It's my legal right. You're harassing my staff. Your staff stole my work. Grant, this needs to stop. You're making this personal." "It is personal, Victor. My daughter betrayed me. My son-in-law sabotaged me, and you let it happen. I let innovation happen. That's my job. No, you let theft happen, because it was easier than standing up to your daughter." Silence. Then, "Stay away from the building. Stay away from my staff, or I'll file a restraining order." "Go ahead. I'll file one back, for emotional damages, for career sabotage, for 18 years of work stolen by people who can't even spell algorithm without autocorrect." "You're being ridiculous." "No, I'm being patient. But that's running out." I hung up. Lydia texted me. "Did you get what you needed?" I texted back, "Yes." Her response, "Good. Come home. I found something else." The news broke the next morning. Not from the company. From the industry publication that had emailed me. The headline, "Rowe Industries under investigation for patent fraud and intellectual property theft." The article was detailed. Thorough. They'd interviewed board members, reviewed the documents I'd sent, confirmed the timeline, named Sierra, Callum, and Madelyn specifically, mentioned Victor's resignation, called it one of the most brazen cases of corporate theft in recent industry history. By noon, it was everywhere. Tech blogs, business news, LinkedIn, Twitter. Everyone was talking about it, about the daughter who stole from her father, about the CEO who looked the other way, about the company that bet everything on a fraud. My phone wouldn't stop ringing. Reporters, former colleagues, people I hadn't spoken to in years. I ignored them all. Lydia fielded the ones that got through to the landline. "No comment. No, he's not available. No, we're not doing interviews. Thank you." Around 3 p.m., there was a knock on the door. I looked through the window. Callum. "Don't answer it," Lydia said. "I have to." "No, you don't." "Yes, I do." I opened the door. Callum looked like hell. Unshaven, wrinkled clothes, eyes red. "Grant, I need to talk to you." "There's nothing to talk about." Please, just 5 minutes. I looked at Lydia. She shook her head, but I stepped outside anyway, closed the door behind me. Talk, I said. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. How was it supposed to happen? We were going to share credit, give you a consultant role, keep you involved. You were going to give me crumbs from my own work. Is that supposed to make me grateful? No. I need you to understand. Sierra was struggling. She was working at that competitor firm and they were chewing her up. She was miserable. She needed a win, something big, something that would make her career. So you gave her my algorithm. I gave her an opportunity. You gave her stolen property. Callum's jaw tightened. I mentored under you for 5 years. I learned from you. I earned some ownership of that work. You learned from me. That doesn't make it yours. That doesn't give you the right to take it. You were never going to finish it. Everyone knew that. You'd been working on it for 18 years and you were still years away from completion. Sierra could have accelerated it, made it real. Sierra couldn't accelerate a shopping cart. She's smarter than you think. No, she's confident. That's not the same thing. And you knew that. You knew she couldn't do it. You knew I was the only one who could. But you wanted the credit anyway. Callum looked away. I wanted her to be happy. So you destroyed me. I didn't think. That's the problem. None of you thought. You just took. We lost everything, Grant. Sierra and I are both fired. We can't get jobs anywhere. Everyone knows what we did. Our careers are over. Isn't that enough? No. What more do you want? I want you to understand what you took from me. It wasn't just a project. It wasn't just credit. It was 18 years of my life. It was every sacrifice I made, every birthday I missed, every night I stayed up late while everyone else slept. You took my legacy, and you thought you could just have it because you were married to my daughter. She's still your daughter. She made her choice. She's pregnant. I stopped, stared at him. What? Sierra's pregnant, 10 weeks. We just found out last month. That's part of why we needed the money, why we needed the career boost. We're having a baby, Grant, your grandchild. My mouth went dry. Does she know you're telling me this? No. I thought maybe it would change things. Change what? I'm still going to destroy you, both of you. Even knowing she's carrying your grandchild? Especially knowing that, because now I know you're bringing a child into a life built on fraud. That kid deserves better. No. I'm a father who got betrayed by his daughter and the man she married. There's a difference. I turned to go back inside. Callum grabbed my arm. Let go, I said quietly. Not until you listen. I yanked my arm free and shoved him backward. He stumbled off the porch, caught himself on the railing. Don't touch me, I said. Don't come to my house, don't call me, don't contact me. You and Sierra made your choices. Live with them. I went inside and locked the door. Callum stood outside for another minute, then walked back to his car. I watched him drive away. Lydia came up behind me. He told you. You knew? Sierra called me yesterday, before the board meeting. She was crying, told me everything, asked me to convince you to help them. I said no. She's pregnant. I know. Our grandchild. I know. And my voice broke. I just turned them away. Because they earned it. The baby doesn't change what they did, Grant. It just makes it sadder. I sank into the couch, put my head in my hands. Lydia sat beside me. What kind of grandfather does this? I asked. The kind who has integrity. The kind who won't let his family get away with destroying him just because they're family. That baby's going to grow up hating me. Maybe. Or maybe that baby will grow up and Sierra will tell them the truth. About what she did. About what it cost. And that baby will understand. You don't believe that. No. But I want to. The investigation moved fast, faster than I expected. Within a week, the patent office had suspended Sierra's application pending review. Within 2 weeks, they'd formally rejected it. Within 3 weeks, they'd opened a fraud investigation into how she'd obtained the documentation. The emails kept coming. Updates from Emma, messages from former colleagues, notifications from news sites, every one of them another nail in Sierra's coffin. I tried not to read them, failed every time. Lydia finally took my laptop away. "You're torturing yourself. I need to know what's happening." "Why? It's done. They're finished. You won. Reading about it over and over doesn't change anything. It makes it real. It is real, whether you read about it or not." She was right. But I kept checking my phone anyway, kept waiting for the next update, the next consequence, the next proof that I'd destroyed my daughter's life. A month after the board meeting, I got an email from Victor. Subject: Closure. Grant, I'm writing to inform you that Rowe Industries has formally closed the investigation into the patent fraud. Sierra Drex has been permanently terminated and will not receive severance. Callum Drex has been terminated for cause and blacklisted from future employment with any of our partner companies. Madelyn has resigned and is facing separate legal action. The company is prepared to offer you a settlement for the theft of your intellectual property. Please contact our legal team to discuss terms. I want you to know that I take full responsibility for not preventing this situation. I failed you as a CEO and as a friend. I hope someday you can forgive me. Victor. I stared at the email for a long time. Then I deleted it. "No settlement?" Lydia asked. "No settlement. I don't want their money. I want my work back." "Can you get it back?" "I don't know. Maybe. The patent's been rejected. The project's been shut down. But the company still has access to the corrupted files. They could try to rebuild it." "Would they?" "Not without me. And I'm not going back." "So what are you going to do?" "Finish it. Myself. The way I was always supposed to." Lydia smiled. "Good." I set up a new lab in the garage. Nothing fancy. Just a desk, a computer, and enough space to think. I pulled out my backup files. The clean versions. The ones Sierra and Callum had never touched. And I started over. It felt different this time. Quieter, lonelier, but also cleaner. No politics, no betrayals. Just me and the work. Lydia brought me coffee and food, checked on me every few hours, didn't ask how it was going. Just let me work. 3 months later, I finished it. The algorithm, the real one, complete, functional, everything I'd been working toward for 18 years. I ran the simulation, watched the numbers flow across the screen, watched the optimization curves stabilize, watched it work exactly the way I'd always known it would. Lydia came into the garage. "Done?" "Done." "Does it work?" "Perfectly." She kissed the top of my head. "I'm proud of you." "I didn't do it for pride. I know, but I'm proud anyway." I saved the final version, backed it up to 3 different drives, uploaded it to encrypted cloud storage. Then I sent it to the patent office with a new application, this time in my name only, with full documentation, complete proof of development. "Now what?" Lydia asked. "Now we wait for someone to want it." "And if Sierra sees the news, she'll see it. And nothing. It's not hers. It never was. This is mine." The new patent was approved in 6 weeks. The news hit the industry sites the same day. Grant Halden files patent for revolutionary clean energy algorithm after company fraud scandal. The emails started immediately. Investors, companies, researchers, everyone wanted to talk, everyone wanted access, everyone wanted a piece of what Sierra had tried to steal. I ignored most of them, responded to a few, set up meetings with the ones that seemed legitimate. One of them was from a small renewable energy startup. Young CEO, passionate, no corporate politics, just people trying to make a difference. We met at a coffee shop. He brought his technical lead. I brought my laptop. "Mr. Halden," he said, "I've been following your story. What happened to you was bullshit." "Thank you." I'd like to license your algorithm. Not steal it, not corrupt it, just use it the way it was meant to be used. Why should I trust you? Because I'm not your daughter. I'm not Victor Rowe. I'm just someone who thinks clean energy matters, and that good work deserves to be rewarded. I looked at him, at his technical lead, at their genuine enthusiasm. Tell me your vision, I said. He did. For an hour. It was good, smart, realistic. Everything Sierra's pitch had pretended to be. When he finished, I said, I'll license it to you. Exclusive rights for 5 years, fair royalties, creative input on implementation. Done. We shook hands, signed the agreement 2 weeks later. The algorithm went live 6 months after that. It worked, better than I'd hoped. The startup grew, the technology spread, and my name was on it. Not Sierra's, not Callum's, mine. I didn't hear from Sierra for 8 months. Then one day, a letter arrived, handwritten, no return address. Dad, I had a daughter. Her name is Emma. She has your eyes. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I just wanted you to know she exists, that she's healthy, that I think about you every time I look at her. I destroyed everything. My career, my marriage, my relationship with you. Callum left me 2 months ago. Couldn't handle the shame. I'm living with a roommate in a studio apartment and working retail. I think about what I did every day, how much I hurt you, how stupid I was, how I let Callum convince me that stealing from you was the same as earning something myself. I know you'll never forgive me. I wouldn't forgive me either, but I wanted you to know that I'm sorry, truly, deeply, completely, and I wanted you to know about Emma. Sierra. I read it 3 times. Then I showed it to Lydia. She read it once. What are you going to do? I don't know. Do you want to meet her? The baby? I don't know. Grant. She destroyed me, Lydia. She took everything, and now she wants me to just… What? Show up and be grandpa? Pretend it didn't happen? No. She wants you to know you have a grandchild. That's different. Is it? Yes. I put the letter down, walked outside, stood in the backyard and stared at nothing. Lydia followed me out. You're allowed to be angry and still love her. I don't know if I do. Love her. You do. You're just hurt. There's a difference. What if I can't forgive her? Then you can't. But you can still meet your granddaughter. She didn't do anything wrong. She's Sierra's daughter. She's also yours. Biologically, genetically. That's not nothing. I thought about it. About a baby named Emma with my eyes. About Sierra working retail in a studio apartment. About Callum gone. About everything collapsing exactly the way I'd wanted it to. And about the fact that it didn't feel as good as I'd thought it would. I need time, I said. Okay. I'm not ready. That's okay too. We went back inside. I put the letter in a drawer. Didn't answer it. Didn't throw it away. Just left it there. Waiting. 4 months after Sierra's letter arrived, I got a call from Emma Park. Not the analyst. My granddaughter. She was crying. Wait. No. Wrong, Emma. This was Emma Park, the analyst. I was losing track. Mr. Halden? Her voice was shaking. I need to tell you something about the investigation. What investigation? The internal one. Rowe Industries kept digging after the patent fraud. They found more. So much more. I sat down. Tell me. Callum wasn't just feeding Sierra information. He was embezzling. For 2 years. Small amounts. Unnoticeable. He'd been routing company funds into Sierra's LLC, the one they used to file the patent. It's not just fraud. It's theft. Federal charges. How much? $340,000. I couldn't breathe. Sierra knew? They're saying no. She's claiming Callum hid it from her, that she thought the money came from investors. But Mr. Halden, the accounts were joint. She signed off on transfers. There's documentation. She's lying. Probably, But she's pregnant and she had the baby 4 months ago. Oh, I didn't know. Well, that makes it worse. They're deciding whether to press charges. The company wants to. The board wants to. But the optics of prosecuting a new mother are terrible. They're debating. What do you think they'll do? I think they'll press charges, because if they don't, it looks like they're letting her off easy. And after everything that's come out, they can't afford that perception. Emma, why are you telling me this? She was quiet. Then, because she's your daughter, and because I thought you'd want to know before it goes public. Thank you. Are you going to warn her? I thought about it, about Sierra in a studio apartment with a baby, about federal charges, about prison, about my granddaughter growing up without her mother. No, I said. I'm not. Mr. Halden. She made her choices, all of them. This is what consequences look like. Emma didn't respond, just hung up. I sat there for a long time. Lydia found me an hour later, still holding the phone. What happened? She asked. I told her. All of it. The embezzlement, the federal charges, the investigation. When I finished, Lydia said, she's going to prison. Probably. And the baby? I don't know. Grant, you have to do something. Like what? Like talk to them. Convince them not to press charges. Something. Why would I do that? Because she's your daughter. She's a criminal. She stole from me and she stole from the company. She deserves what's coming. And the baby? What does the baby deserve? I didn't answer. Couldn't. Lydia knelt in front of me. Took both my hands. I know you're angry. I know she hurt you. But that baby is innocent. And if Sierra goes to prison, what happens to her? Foster care? Callum's parents? She'll grow up without her mother. That's not my problem. Yes, it is. Because she's your granddaughter. And because you're better than this. I'm not better than anything. I'm the man whose daughter destroyed his life, who stole his work and his money and his reputation. I'm the man who burned her back. That's who I am now. No, that's who you're choosing to be. There's a difference. She stood up and walked out of the room, left me sitting there with the weight of it. The news broke 2 days later. Former Rowe Industries employees charged with embezzlement and patent fraud. Sierra's mugshot was everywhere. She looked exhausted, broken. The article said she'd been arrested at her apartment, that the baby had been placed temporarily with Child Protective Services, that Callum had also been arrested but was already out on bail. My phone exploded. Reporters, former colleagues, people I didn't know, all of them wanting a statement, wanting to know how I felt seeing my daughter arrested. I didn't answer any of them. Lydia did. She told them I had no comment, that this was a private family matter, that we weren't doing interviews. But she was different after that. Colder toward me, distant. What? I finally asked. Nothing. Lydia, you're really going to let her go to prison? I'm not letting her do anything. She did this to herself. She's 28 years old with a 4-month-old baby. And she's a thief and a liar, and she tried to destroy me. So you're going to destroy her back, even though it means your granddaughter loses her mother. That's not on me. Yes, it is. Because you could stop this. You could talk to the company. Tell them you've been compensated. Tell them you don't want charges pressed. They'd listen to you. Why would I do that? Because revenge isn't the same as justice, and because that baby deserves better than this. Sierra should have thought about that before she stole from me. Lydia stared at me. Then she walked out. I heard her car start, watched through the window as she drove away. She didn't come back that night. I spent the night alone in the house, thinking, remembering, going through old photos on my phone. Sierra as a kid, Sierra graduating high school, Sierra's wedding. All of it felt like a different life, a different person. Around 3 a.m., I found a video. Sierra, at 6 years old. I was teaching her how to ride a bike. She kept falling, kept getting frustrated. But I kept picking her up, kept telling her she could do it. "I can't, Dad," she said in the video. "It's too hard." "Nothing worth doing is easy," I said. "You just have to keep trying." She tried again, fell again, started crying. "I'm stupid, I can't do it." "You're not stupid. You're learning. There's a difference." She looked up at me. "Will you always help me?" "Always." The video ended. I watched it again, and again, and again. Lydia came back the next morning. She looked like she hadn't slept. "I'm sorry," she said. "I shouldn't have left." "Yes, you should have. I was being an asshole." "You were being hurt." "I was being vindictive. There's a difference." She sat down beside me. "What are you going to do?" "I don't know." "Do you want to meet her? Emma?" "The baby?" "Yes." "I don't know if Sierra would let me." "She would. I called her last night. She's desperate. She's terrified. She thinks she's going to lose everything. She already has." "Grant." I know. But I don't know if I can forgive her. I don't know if I can look at her and not see everything she took from me. You don't have to forgive her, not yet. Maybe not ever. But you can still meet your granddaughter. I looked at Lydia, at the woman who'd been right about everything, who'd stood by me even when I didn't deserve it. "Set it up," I said. We met at a neutral location, a park. Sierra was sitting on a bench with a stroller beside her. She looked thinner, older, exhausted in a way that had nothing to do with the baby. I walked up slowly, Lydia beside me. Sierra saw us and stood up. She didn't say anything, just waited. "Hi," I said. "Hi." Her voice cracked. "This is Emma." "Yes." I looked in the stroller. The baby was asleep. She had dark hair, my eyes, Lydia's nose. "She's beautiful," Lydia said. "Thank you." Sierra's voice was barely a whisper. We stood there in awkward silence. Then Sierra said, "I'm so sorry." "I know. I know that's not enough. I know nothing I say will ever be enough. But I need you to know I'm sorry." "Okay." "The charges, they're pressing charges. My lawyer says I'm probably going to prison, 2 to 5 years. Callum's taking a plea deal, but I can't. The evidence is too strong." "I know. Mom said you might be able to help, that you could talk to the company. Tell them not to press charges." I didn't respond. I know I don't deserve it. I know I don't deserve anything from you. But Emma, my daughter, your granddaughter, she needs her mother. And if I go to prison, she loses everything. You should have thought about that before you stole from me." Sierra started crying. I know. I was stupid. I was selfish. I let Callum convince me it was okay, that we were just accelerating the timeline, that you'd never even know. I didn't think it through. I didn't think about what it would do to you, to us, to everything. No, you didn't. Please, Dad, I'm begging you. Help me." I looked at my daughter, at the woman who'd destroyed me, who'd taken everything I'd built and tried to make it hers, who was now standing in front of me with a baby and a prison sentence and nothing left. "Why should I?" I asked. "Because I'm your daughter. Because you said you'd always help me. Remember? When I was learning to ride a bike, you said you'd always help me. That was before you stole from me. I know, but please. For Emma. Not for me. For her." I looked at the baby, at my granddaughter, at the innocent life caught in the middle of Sierra's choices. "I'll think about it," I said. "Dad, that's all I can give you right now. I'll think about it." I walked away. Lydia followed. Behind us, Sierra was sobbing. In the car, Lydia said, "Are you really going to think about it?" "Yes." "What are you thinking?" "I'm thinking my daughter destroyed my life." And I'm thinking my granddaughter doesn't deserve to pay for that. And I'm thinking I don't know how to reconcile those two things. You don't have to reconcile them. You just have to decide which one matters more. I didn't sleep that night, or the next night, or the night after that. I kept thinking about Emma, about Sierra, about the choice in front of me. Lydia was patient. She didn't push, just waited. On the fourth day, I called Emma Park, the analyst, not the baby. Mr. Halden? I need to know something. If I ask the company not to press charges against Sierra, will they listen? Probably. You're the victim. If you're satisfied, they have less incentive to pursue it. But they might still press charges against Callum. I don't care about Callum. Just Sierra? Just Sierra. Emma was quiet. Then, why are you doing this? Because she has a baby, and because I'm tired of being angry. That's a good reason. Is it? Better than most. I hung up and called the company's legal team, asked to speak to whoever was handling the case, got transferred 3 times, finally reached someone who sounded important. Mr. Halden, what can I do for you? I want to request that you drop the charges against Sierra Drex. Silence. Then, may I ask why? Because I've been compensated for my intellectual property, because she's a new mother, and because continuing to prosecute her serves no purpose except revenge. Mr. Halden, she stole from you, and from the company. We have a responsibility to what? Make an example? She's already lost everything. Her career, her marriage, her reputation. What more do you want? Justice. Justice would be her serving 5 years and her daughter growing up in foster care? That's not justice. That's cruelty. The lawyer was quiet. Then, I'll bring your request to the board, but I can't promise anything. That's all I'm asking. I hung up. Lydia was standing in the doorway. You did it. I tried. They might not listen. They will. You're the victim. If you don't want charges pressed, it changes the equation. What about Callum? Callum can rot. He's not your daughter. He's not your problem. When he convinced your daughter to destroy you, I've been waiting for him to get what he deserves. The board met 3 days later. I wasn't invited, but the legal team called me afterward. Mr. Halden, the board has agreed to drop the charges against Sierra Drex. They're issuing a statement saying the matter has been resolved privately and that all parties have been compensated. What about Callum? Callum Drex will still face charges. He was the primary architect of the embezzlement scheme. The board feels there needs to be accountability. Good. Ms. Drex's lawyer has been notified. She'll be released from custody immediately. The baby will be returned to her. Thank you. Mr. Halden, can I ask you something? What? Why did you do this? After everything she did to you? Because she's my daughter, and because I don't want my granddaughter to grow up without her mother, even if that mother is a thief. That's very generous. No, it's just the right thing to do. I hung up. Lydia hugged me. I'm proud of you. Don't be. I'm not doing this for her. I'm doing it for me, so I can sleep at night. That's still a good reason. Sierra called me 2 hours later. She was crying so hard I could barely understand her. Dad, they dropped the charges. They said you asked them to. Yes. Why? After everything I did? Why would you help me? Because you're my daughter, and because Emma deserves better than this. I don't deserve your help. No, you don't, but I'm giving it to you anyway. She sobbed. Thank you. Thank you so much. I can't. Thank you. Sierra, listen to me. Okay. This doesn't mean I forgive you. This doesn't mean we're okay. This doesn't mean I trust you. This just means I'm not going to let you go to prison while your daughter is 4 months old. I understand. I don't know if I'll ever forgive you. I don't know if we'll ever have a relationship again, but I'm willing to try. For Emma. Not for you. For her. That's more than I deserve. Yes, it is. We hung up. Lydia was watching me. How do you feel? Tired. Good tired or bad tired? I don't know yet. But I didn't see Sierra for another month. We talked on the phone occasionally. Awkward conversations about the baby, about her new job, about how she was rebuilding her life. She'd moved out of the studio apartment, found a one-bedroom, got a job at a nonprofit. Nothing glamorous, but stable. She was trying. Callum pleaded guilty, got 3 years. She didn't visit him, didn't even talk about him. It was like he'd never existed. I should have seen what he was, she said during one call. I should have known he was using me. We all should have seen a lot of things, I said. Hindsight's easy. Are you still angry at me? Yes. Will you always be? I don't know. Probably. That's fair. We hung up. 6 weeks after the charges were dropped, Sierra asked if I wanted to meet Emma. The baby, not just see her from a distance, actually hold her. I said yes. We met at her apartment, small but clean. She had photos on the walls, none of Callum, a few of her and the baby, one of me and her from years ago. Emma was awake. Sierra handed her to me carefully. Support her head, she said. I know how to hold a baby. I had 2 of them. Right. Sorry. I looked down at Emma. She looked up at me with those eyes, my eyes, and something shifted. Not forgiveness, not yet, but something softer, something that felt like the beginning of letting go. Hi, Emma, I said quietly. I'm your grandfather. She made a small noise, not quite a cry, not quite a coo. Sierra was watching us. She likes you. How can you tell? She's not screaming. That's basically her highest compliment right now. I smiled. It felt strange, but good. We spent an hour there. Sierra made coffee. We talked, not about the past, just about Emma, about sleepless nights and diapers and milestones. When I left, Sierra walked me to the door. Dad? Yeah? Thank you for giving me another chance. I didn't give you a chance. I gave Emma one. Don't waste it. I won't. I drove home. Lydia was waiting. How was it? She asked. Good. Strange, but good. Do you feel better? A little. Maybe. She hugged me. That's a start. But the algorithm launched 3 months later. The startup I'd licensed it to had done everything right. They'd implemented it carefully, tested it thoroughly, rolled it out gradually. It worked. Better than anyone expected. Energy costs dropped, efficiency increased, the industry took notice. My phone started ringing again. More investors, more companies, more people wanting a piece of it. This time I answered, took meetings, negotiated deals, built partnerships. I was careful, thorough. I documented everything, protected my work, made sure no one could ever take it from me again. You're different, Lydia said one night. How? Harder, more careful, less trusting. Is that bad? I don't know, but it's not wrong. I thought about that. About the man I'd been before Sierra betrayed me. About the man I was now. I'm not sure I like who I've become, I said. You're someone who protects himself. That's not a bad thing. It feels bad. That's because you're not used to it. You spent your whole life trusting people. Now you know better. Is that what this is? Knowing better? Yes. And it sucks. But it's also necessary. She was right. She was always right. A year after everything collapsed, I got an email from Victor. Grant, I hope you're well. I've heard about your success with the new company. I'm glad the algorithm is finally being used the way it should be. I'm writing to apologize. For everything. For not protecting you. For letting Madelyn and Sierra take advantage. For being a coward. I failed you as a CEO and as a friend. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know that I'm sorry. Victor. I read it 3 times. Then I deleted it. Lydia saw. Not ready to forgive him? Not sure I ever will be. That's fair. Is it? He apologized. Isn't that supposed to be enough? Apologies are only enough if the person earned them. Victor let your daughter destroy you because it was easier than standing up to his own daughter. That's not something a sorry fixes. What does fix it? Time, maybe, or nothing. Some things just stay broken. I thought about that. About Sierra. About Victor. About all the relationships that had shattered when this started. I don't want to be broken forever, I said. Then don't be. Choose to heal, even if it's slow, even if it hurts. I started seeing Sierra regularly after that. Not often. Once a month, sometimes less. But enough to watch Emma grow, to be present. We didn't talk about the past much, didn't dissect what she'd done or why. Just focused on moving forward, on being civil, on building something new from the ashes of what had been. It wasn't easy. There were moments when I looked at her and felt the anger resurface. Moments when I wanted to leave and never come back. But I stayed, for Emma, and slowly, over time, for Sierra too. Do you think you'll ever forgive her? Lydia asked one night. I don't know, maybe, probably, but not yet. That's honest. Is it enough? For now, yes. 2 years after the presentation that destroyed everything, I got invited to speak at an industry conference. Big one. Thousands of attendees. Keynote address about innovation and perseverance and the importance of protecting intellectual property. I almost said no. Almost deleted the invitation without responding. But Lydia convinced me otherwise. You earned this, she said. You survived what they did to you. You rebuilt. You succeeded. People need to hear that story. I don't want to be the cautionary tale. You're not. You're the success story. The man who got betrayed and didn't let it break him. It did break me. No, it changed you. That's different. I thought about it. About standing on a stage and telling a room full of strangers about the worst thing that had ever happened to me. About admitting that my own daughter had destroyed me. What if Sierra finds out? What if she hears about it? Then she hears about it. She knows what she did. You're not telling any lies. It'll hurt her. Probably. But you're not doing it to hurt her. You're doing it to help other people avoid what happened to you. I accepted the invitation. The conference was in San Francisco, 3-day event. I was scheduled for the second day, morning keynote, 9 a.m. Lydia came with me. We flew out the day before, checked into a hotel overlooking the bay. It was beautiful, expensive, the kind of place I never would have been able to afford before the algorithm took off. Nervous? Lydia asked. Terrified. Good. It means you care. What if I freeze? What if I can't do it? Then you freeze, and you start again, and you finish. You've survived worse than a speech. She was right. I had. The morning of the keynote, I woke up at 5 a.m. Couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, just paced the hotel room and reviewed my notes. Lydia made me shower, made me eat toast, made me breathe. You're going to be great, she said. You don't know that. Yes, I do. Because you're Grant Halden, and you don't give up. We arrived at the conference center at 8. The main hall was enormous, seats for 3,000 people, a stage with a massive screen, professional lighting, cameras everywhere. My stomach twisted. A conference organizer met us backstage. Young woman, enthusiastic. Mr. Halden, we're so excited to have you. There's been incredible buzz about your talk. The hall is already half full and we still have 45 minutes. Great, I said. My voice sounded hollow. Can I get you anything? Water? Coffee? Water's fine. She disappeared. Lydia squeezed my hand. "You've got this," she said. "Do I?" "Yes." At 8:50, someone came to get me. "5 minutes, Mr. Halden." I walked to the side of the stage, looked out at the audience. The hall was packed, every seat filled, people standing in the back. My heart was pounding. The conference organizer walked onto the stage, tapped the microphone. The crowd quieted. "Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm thrilled to introduce our keynote speaker. Grant Halden is a pioneer in clean energy optimization. His work has revolutionized the industry. But more than that, his story is one of perseverance, integrity, and the importance of protecting what you build. Please join me in welcoming Grant Halden." The crowd applauded. I walked onto the stage. The lights were blinding. The microphone felt too close. The audience was a sea of faces I couldn't distinguish. I took a breath, started talking. "Thank you for that introduction. I'm grateful to be here. Though if you'd asked me 2 years ago if I'd be standing on this stage, I would have laughed. 2 years ago I was fired from my job, betrayed by my family, and watching my life's work get stolen by people I trusted." The room was silent. "I'm going to tell you that story today, not because I want sympathy, not because I want revenge, but because I think it's important. Important for all of us to understand that innovation isn't just about having good ideas. It's about protecting those ideas. It's about documentation. It's about being careful who you trust." I told them everything. The presentation, the interruption, Sierra stealing the algorithm, Callum sabotaging me, the retirement account being drained, the patent fraud, the embezzlement. I told them about the investigation, about the charges, about my decision to ask for those charges to be dropped. "I made that choice because my daughter has a child," I said, "and because I didn't want my granddaughter to grow up without her mother. But I also made it because I realized something important. Revenge doesn't make you whole. It just makes you less empty. And that's not the same thing." The audience was leaning forward, listening. I rebuilt. Not because I'm special, not because I'm stronger than anyone else, but because I had documentation, I had proof, I had evidence of every step I'd taken over 18 years, and that saved me, not just legally, but psychologically, because I knew the truth, and eventually, everyone else did too. I talked for 45 minutes, answered questions for another 15. When I finished, the applause was thunderous. Backstage, Lydia hugged me. "You did it." "I did. How do you feel?" "Lighter." "Good." The speech got picked up by industry blogs, tech news sites, LinkedIn. Within a week, it had been viewed over 1 million times. The comments were mostly supportive. Some people called me brave. Others said I was too forgiving. A few said I should have let Sierra go to prison. I tried not to read them. Failed. One comment stuck with me. "This man chose grace over revenge. That's real strength." I didn't feel strong. I felt tired. But maybe that was the same thing. Sierra called 3 days after the speech went viral. "I saw your talk," she said. And I'm sorry, again, still, always." "I know. Do you hate me for what you said, for telling everyone?" "No, I told the truth, that's all." "It must have been hard to stand up there and talk about it." "It was, but it was also good. It felt like closure, or the beginning of it." She was quiet. Then, "I'm glad you didn't let me go to prison." "Me too." "Emma's walking now. Did I tell you?" "No." "She is. She's everywhere, into everything. It's exhausting." "That's toddlers. Do you want to come see her? This weekend, maybe?" I thought about it, about my granddaughter, about Sierra, about the slow, painful process of rebuilding trust. "Yes," I said. "I'd like that." I went to Sierra's apartment that Saturday. Emma was indeed walking, stumbling, really, but moving. She saw me and grinned. "Gampa," she said. Not quite Grandpa, but close enough. I picked her up. She grabbed my face with both hands. "Hi, Emma," I said. "Hi," she replied, then went back to grabbing. Sierra laughed. "She's obsessed with faces right now, sorry." "It's fine." We spent the afternoon together, playing with Emma, talking, not about the past, just about life, about Sierra's job, about the nonprofit she was working for, about the small apartment she was trying to make into a home. When I left, Sierra walked me to the door. "Dad? Yeah? Do you think we'll ever be okay? Really okay?" "I don't know, but I think we're trying, and that's something. Is it enough?" "For now." I drove home. Lydia was in the kitchen. "How was it?" she asked. "Good. Emma's walking." "Already?" "She's fast. Like her grandfather." I laughed. "I was never fast." "No, but you were persistent. That's better." The months after the conference were busy. More speaking engagements, more licensing deals, more companies wanting to use the algorithm. I was careful, always. Documented everything, protected my work obsessively. Lydia joked that I'd become paranoid. "You're not wrong," I admitted. "Is that a problem?" "I don't know. It feels like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, waiting for someone else to betray me. That's trauma. It takes time to heal." "How much time?" "I don't know. But you're doing better. You're seeing Sierra. You're rebuilding. That's progress." She was right. I was doing better. Slowly, painfully, but better. The 3 years after the presentation, the startup I'd licensed the algorithm to went public. IPO, stock price soared. My royalties went from comfortable to obscene. Lydia and I bought a new house, bigger, nicer, with a yard for Emma to play in when she visited. Sierra came to see it, walked through every room, looked at the view. "It's beautiful, Dad," she said. "Thank you. You deserve it, after everything. We both deserve better than what happened." "Do you really believe that?" "I'm trying to." She hugged me. It was the first time she'd done that in 3 years. I hugged her back. It wasn't forgiveness. Not yet. But it was close. Emma turned 4. We threw her a birthday party at the new house. Sierra invited a few of her friends from the nonprofit. Their kids ran around the yard screaming. I watched from the porch, Lydia beside me. "You did good," she said. "We did good." "No, you. You could have let hate consume you. You didn't." "I came close. But you didn't. That's what matters." Emma ran up to us, covered in frosting. "Gampa, come play." "What are we playing?" "Tag, you're it." She tapped my leg and ran off laughing. I looked at Lydia. She smiled. "Go," she said. "Play with your granddaughter." I did.